this guy's a star, and we're talking about the drummer. But of course, we also have two other stars on the stage right now. Give it up for Soha Ali and Kunaal Kapur. Oh, that's quite a reception. Girls and boys, the next session, we're going to be talking about relationships. Now, ask any young person in the crowd 3 things that weigh heavy on your mind. You would probably say money, career. But if there's one thing that gives you maximum heartburn, would you all agree it's relationships? Yes? Right, so that's exactly what the 2 stars we have on stage with us are going to be talking about. How does one handle relationships, commitment in the time of casual love? You're living a fast life, you don't have too much time. Do you really have time to think about, how do I make that commitment? Is it time for me to settle down? How do you deal with the big R? So let me call upon first Soha to tell us what she thinks about casual love, marriage, relationships.
Hello. So when they first asked me to come here to speak on the rise of relationships and commitment in the age or time of casual love, I sat for a very, very long time to try to think about what I could possibly say to all of you without A, getting in trouble at home or in society at large, and also how to make some kind of sense out of a subject that is so broad and so complicated because it deals with human beings who are so complicated. And my views on this changed every single hour depending on if I was in a good mood. I'm also in a relationship, which some of you may know. So a lot of it depended on if I was in a good place in my relationship or not. And then I sat and I made some notes, many notes, because I felt that I should try and be coherent with you guys. And what I came up with were a few points. The first thing was that I don't think that it's the time of casual love. I think that in India, a lot of us perhaps think that we are very progressive and very modern, and in some ways we are, but I think when it comes to our social values, and that I think is best illustrated when you look at censorship laws, for films for example, I think those clearly indicate that as an audience we're not very mature, we're not able to handle too much. So we're still, spoon-fed a little bit, and things are made very tame for the audience. So in terms of our civic ethics as well, I don't think we've quite got there. The hypocrisy with how we bring up our sons and our daughters also illustrates that perhaps we're not as open as we like to think that we are. Of course, today there are many different kinds of more casual forms a relationship can take. And I suppose we have got to a stage whereby we can actually sit and talk about this in a forum. Maybe we couldn't do this 20 years ago. But I don't think that means that we've got to an age of casual love, in that perhaps we've got to an age of, Android phones or something. I don't know, whatever. But the other thing that didn't make sense to me also was, what is casual love? How can love be casual? So for me, it sounded like an oxymoron. Any kind of love, surely, even if it's between like a father and a son, or a husband and a wife, or a girlfriend and a boyfriend, has to be based on something that is deep and lasting, some kind of commitment, right? So how can that be casual? There can be casual relationships. And here I think it's important to make a distinction between casual, am I allowed to say sex? So I think we're supposed to make a distinction between casual sex or one-night stands that people do engage in, and casual relationships, which involve a little bit more, perhaps more time spent together, but in a less formal structure than, for example, a marriage or a long-term exclusive relationship or whatever you may choose. But I don't want to stand here and tell you guys what is right and what is wrong, because surely when it comes to something as complex as human relationships, there can't be like one size fits all. What's my wine is, your poison. And you have to choose your own wine or water or whatever, your choice of beverage. So it's important for you to discover for yourself what it is that suits you. And I think especially when it comes to relationships, it cannot just be one size fits all. So whatever I say to you now is solely what works for for me. It may not work for you. And whatever I tell you now also must remain just between us and all of the media here present. Because, oh, sorry. Because, as I said, I'll probably get into trouble for telling you the things that I have been going to tell you, which I probably shouldn't. But anyway. So, my take on things is, I value commitment, I value fidelity, I value loyalty, trust and honesty, but I also value excitement, fun and passion. And I think it's possible to have all of them in one relationship. I'm not unafraid of making a commitment to someone. I understand that it comes with a whole lot of baggage, that you do get your heart broken many, many times, that you do have to deal with emotional trauma. You have to compromise. You might feel that you're missing out on someone else because you've committed to someone else. You'll have to say no to a lot of attractive men and women because you're already committed to someone. And that's what comes with it. But I think with time, I have come to understand and appreciate the need for an exclusive long-term relationship. And to preempt a probable question from you, marriage for me, because I thought actually when I came here to speak to you that I would be talking about commitment, but then I'm not married and I'm in a long-term relationship. So does that mean my relationship is casual because it's not marriage? I'm not sure. For different people, commitment means different things. For some people, it's just marriage. For some people, it's long-term trust and loyalty and exclusiveness. And for some people, it's just honesty, openness, and you can do whatever you want as long as you're honest and open. So commitment also means different things to different people. So marriage for me is actually not mandatory. It's not something I'm averse to, but it's not a deal breaker for me. For me, the other values like loyalty, etc., are more important. And most relationships in the beginning are going to be casual anyway. So for all of you who are starting out on a relationship, that's not the time that you choose to be with each other forever and ever. That takes time. And then I think it has to be that the more time you spend together, you'll develop some bonds of affection. You know, you will have a fight, you will spend time together, you'll have great conversations, and that must at some point become something that is not casual. I don't understand people who are in long-term casual relationships. It doesn't make sense to me. It sounds as if you're like, I don't know if I believe in God or not. It's a decision that I feel I would have to take. I would feel that if I've spent enough time with someone, either I should say it's not working for me or it is working for me. And if it's working for me, I give it everything. And if it's not working for me, instead of dilly-dallying, I'll prefer to move on to something else. But again, that's me. But I have many friends who don't subscribe to that at all. And some of them are my closest friends. And some of them are women. And some of them are men. And if you mention the word marriage to them, they'll faint. Like, they just cannot handle that. Even a committed relationship is too much baggage for them. Because life today is, you know, there's so much that we want to do for ourselves. There's so much that we don't want to miss out on. So it's become a slightly self-centered generation where we don't want to compromise. We want our space. And, you know, there's so many things, like on Facebook, you can see people are just liking everything. So I think it's more of a like generation than a love generation. And as I said, with my friends, also I watch them sometimes, you know, on a Friday, my closest friend will call me and say, oh, I met this guy on Facebook, and, you know, I think he's going to ask me out this weekend. And then she'll come over to my house and say, oh, you know, on a Friday, and she'll say, well, you know, he texted me and he said, you know, let's go out on Friday night. And she'll come to my house and she'll get ready at my house, and we'll be ready from 9 o'clock to 11 o'clock, and we're sitting and we're waiting by the phone. And then at 11 o'clock, her phone will beep and she'll get a text message saying, stop, or hey. And you're like, okay. And then you have to respond to that. So then she's like, what should I say? What should I say? And I'm like, oh, I'll say hey. And then we go from there, and then it takes an hour and a half. And he'll just say, okay, I'm hanging out at Air, I'm hanging out at some bar, and you want to meet me for a drink or whatever? I'm here with like a bunch of my friends. And you're like, that's not a date, according to me. And I would keep saying, why don't you just pick up the phone and ask him out for a date? Or why doesn't he just pick up the phone and ask you out for dinner or a drink? At least it should be one-on-one. Maybe I'm a traditionalist, I don't know. I'm pointing at Kunaal because I'm expecting him to give me the hey, what's up kind of perspective. You know, what's behind the hey, what's up? I think that it's people who are scared. people who don't want to put themselves on the line, they're afraid of getting their heart broken, and they're afraid of rejection. Because if you pick up the phone and you say, do you want to have dinner with me? And if the girl says, no, I like Rahul, then you're like, I feel really bad. Or Rohit, whatever. So I think it's, people like that, it's a lot easier to just say, hey, or what's going on this weekend, and send it out to like 500 people, hoping that one person will respond, and then you take it from there. So, and there are many good things, like when I talk to my friends, and I say, why do you choose this kind of, we'd sit there, and then she would cry, and then we'd stay up till 2 in the morning and eat ice cream, and say, why do men suck? And then equally I sit with some of my guy friends, and they say, women are so complicated, and, it's much better this way. And there's many pros to a casual sort of life. You can perhaps have many more options, which is always good. We all like options. We always want to latch on to the newest gizmo. Maybe, I have a BlackBerry from the 19th century. Stop hitting the mic. Sorry. So I have a phone from a very long time ago, so I don't necessarily need to maybe latch on to the latest thing. But I know that a lot of people appreciate that kind of, options and choices. I just get really confused, and I like not to get confused. Also, I think that people have a lot of baggage these days. So they think a lot about the past and their past relationships, and they bring that to bear to their future, and they just think, oh no, permanency and forever is just perhaps too much for me to handle. Love is very, very complicated, I understand that. I don't know whether I myself believe in forever or permanency. My mind, as I said, keeps changing. I like things to be fluid, but I also like to grow together with someone and explore it and see with a sincere commitment where it's going to go and for how long. And a slightly wiser, older female role model in my life once told me that you should one should never actually marry the first person that they are intimate with. You know what I mean, right? That to me sounds totally unromantic. I said, but some people do, and it's great. And she said, well, actually it gets really complicated because love is this kind of weird chemical reaction. It's actually just about hormones. There's nothing else to it. And it's so fickle because you can be completely in love one day and completely out of love the next day. And that's got entirely to do with chemicals in your body. So the first time you're with someone in a romantic way, you can get confused. And sometimes you make these hormone-driven decisions and you may regret those. So she said that perhaps you should take your time, and then over time you will realize and be able to make a distinction between that kind of gooiness that you feel. And love is not just about the gooiness, it's about other things as well. And sometimes it's about the boring things that's left over after the gooiness. I should come up with another word. Give me a word. Mushiness, just as bad. After that goes away, it's kind of what you're left with, and you see the worst of each other, and you fought, and you've said, oh, and you've seen the worst of yourself, and you've broken all the crockery in the house, and you still, want to stay true to that person. I think that's a little bit more in the love space. That wasn't funny, was it? Anyway, so I'm going through this week, which is interesting discussion in our society. I'm most intrigued to know and also terrified to know what questions they're going to ask me, and I'm going to do my best to answer them because usually when I ask personal questions in the industry, we say no comment. And I think this is going to be slightly different, and I would love to answer some of your questions. What I would like you to do is not be like me at all. You must be like yourself and listen to your own heart. Even though that sounds really trite, but you have to know for yourself when is the right time to commit. It's not always the right time to commit, whether it's the right person to commit to, and all of those things. And I'm pretty confident that all of the people in this room who haven't already figured that out will. I grew up seeing my parents who lived together and they were married for 42 years. And I'm sure that their root marital bliss was not, I'm sure they broke many items of crockery as well. And I think fighting is important because if you don't fight, that means that you don't care and there's no spirit in the relationship. So, of course, they had ups and downs and challenges. And again, one of the things that perhaps we'll touch upon is when you live in the public glare, how challenging it can be to be in a relationship because it can be very difficult. When I started to date an actor, my mother said, I wouldn't do that because you're complicating your life. And I said, I can handle it. And it's not easy. It's very, very, very complicated. But it's also great fun, sometimes. But so I saw that it's possible for this to happen. Again, I'm saying it's not for everyone. I think the people who engage in casual relationships are skimming the surface. They're kind of floating on the surface. And I think that especially if you're a creative person, it's important to get stuck in. It's important to have your heart broken. It's important to feel the angst and feel that, all those deep, dark emotions that sometimes you don't want to. Last year, I thought I was going to be like Buddha-like. I was going to be Zen, and no one was going to affect me, and my boyfriend was not going to affect me. If he lost his temper, I'm going to be calm. I'm going to do yoga. No one's going to get to me. It lasted, thank you. It lasted for half a weekend, because then I lost it. And it's important to be in touch with your feelings. I think that's all well and good for Buddha and Zen people, but it doesn't work for me. And I felt like I wasn't able to act. I wasn't able to engage with my career as well. If you're a creative person, I think you have to feel all of that. You have to get involved. You can't be casual about, I'm wearing flip-flops, so I can be casual to a certain level. But, I think when it comes to relationships, you can't be that casual. And I should sum up by saying I prefer to swim in the deep end of the pool. So I like to get stuck in. Thank you.
I don't know if this happened by coincidence or by choice. There is an intrinsic link in the two speakers that we have today. Both their siblings were definitely in the limelight for the relationships that they were in, whether it be Saif Kareena or whether it be Siddharth Roy Kapur and Vidya Balan. They know a lot of things about relationships in their family. So I'd like to call on Kunaal Roy Kapur, the man who made us laugh in Delhi Belly, and the man who's all set to rock again in Nautanki Sala.
Thank you, thanks. Sort of reminds me, I was trying to play those drums in DK Bose. It's just not happening. I was trying to, all my hands will go all over the place. Thank you India Today for having me here. Just a completely different sort of point. I was flying here. I'm sorry I'm just sharing this with you because I found it funny. When you're taking a flight and that the pilot says कि bahar ka taapman, outside it's minus 52 degrees, but inside for your comfort we're maintaining the temperature at 24 degrees. And I'm thinking, but so should I go up to him and thank him for this? Like why are you telling me this, yeah? Like, do I have to pay separately? Otherwise you would have maintained the temperature at minus 52 degrees. What is up with these pilots? They make the most ridiculous statements. Anyway, I'm sorry, I just found it funny, so I thought I'd share it with you all. But just to talk about relationships, I've been married for 7 years now. Or is it 8? My wife is going to kill me. I've been married for a long time now. And so I'm married, yeah. Yeah, I have 2 children. Yeah, so I don't know what I'm doing at a youth summit really. But honestly, before I got married to her, I was seeing her for 10 years. I have been, don't clap, yeah. You're mad, stop clapping, yeah. It's ridiculous, I should shoot myself in the head. What's wrong with you? You're like clapping at my plight. No, thank you. I've been with her for 18 years now, and it's been wonderful because what happens in those years is that, and I don't think that like many young people get to experience this, is that you get to see a person change. Not only like you get to see them grow. It's like almost you bond with them, and then you kind of rediscover your relationship as you go along, and as Soha was saying that relationships go through these ups and downs, but it becomes sort of organic, and then you have to readjust, and you have to change yourself a little bit and mold a little bit and give and take and all that, and it's great fun. But I think that today it's that they're very dismissive of these things, and we're very fast to like just cast them aside and say that I don't have the time for this, I don't have the patience for this, but it's really quite fruitful. So I mean, I would just say that to young people who are constantly looking for new things. I mean, I was mentioning this to you earlier, but I don't know how many of you agree, but I think that Manmohan Singh is partly responsible for young people being the way they are today. A hush goes around. No. I'll tell you what, because I think that what happened in the early 90s with the opening up of the economy and with the massive foreign investment coming in and big companies and all these media and these cameras flying around in the sky and things like that, what happened during this time is that the young people got energized into wanting more and wanting a life that they might not like, that they've seen abroad, or like, you know, that aspiration and that want and that desire and that greed actually in some way also. And not that it's a bad thing, it's a good thing. We all want better lives, you know, but I'm saying that some of it is misplaced. Some of it is driven in the wrong direction. Like they're trying to sell us houses with golf courses, and we don't play golf here. Like a lot of us, I don't play golf here, but like they're trying to sell us things that just don't make sense, you know. So I'm just saying that in that process, what happened to young people is that they wanted to experiment, and they want the next thing and the next thing. And as Soha was saying, like the BlackBerry she's been using for very, very long, but it's not what young people want. They want the new phone. They want the new iPhone 5S 7000D or whatever. It gets old fast, and it's the same with relationships right now, you know. And I think that we have to. It depends from person to person what they cherish and what they want out of life. And I think that while what works for me as, you know, what works for me is that what I get a lot of joy out of is my family, is my kids, my wife, the rest of my family. I get a lot of joy out of that, and for me that works. But I don't think that necessarily might work for everyone. I think that it's damn important for young people to experiment, to try new things. I think it's very important for young people to be sexually open and, I mean, safe, very safe, you know. But what's wrong in trying like going out with many different people? What's wrong with if a girl wants to go out with 3-4 guys before she gets married? Nothing in my mind. And what if she wants to go out with another girl? It's okay. I don't give a shit. What I'm saying is that it has to work for you. It has to, whatever it is, I think that our society has to, and this is something that the youth should want. Not the new phone, not the new car. It's the acceptance of society. What we should fight for is the acceptance of society, of letting people be the way they want to be. In multiple relationships, in same-sex relationships, in whatever the hell they want to do, the acceptance is what we should fight for. And I think that this is something that we've seen happen in the past, where, I mean, see, we're talking from a very urban sort of point of view, no? We're talking from a very, we're talking from like a city or a larger town point of view, but when you look at the whole nation, predominantly marriages and things like that are arranged. Now, I'm not saying that, I'm not saying that, oh, arranged marriages doesn't work for me. It's been working for many, I mean, hundreds of years, and whatever, it's working fine. But the thing is that many times, people are not happy in arranged marriages, but they can't do anything about it. You can't do anything about it because society doesn't accept a woman stepping out of an arranged marriage. Society doesn't accept a man saying, no, I don't want this anymore because I'm just not happy. And I think that our society has to start accepting that women and men have to make their own decisions in a marriage, yeah. It's nobody's business what they want to do, whether they want to step out of marriage. The decision to get married was theirs, and the decision to separate has to be theirs. And I think that marriage, you know, for me, I got married for 2 reasons. One was to keep my parents and in-laws happy, and the second was because you get a lot of gifts. Yeah. Me and my wife kind of sustained ourselves on the gifts that we got for 1 year. We were able to manage just on gift money. It was wonderful. So I would recommend it to you if you're looking to start out, like, get married, you get a little bit of cash here. It's damn nice. But I'm just saying that for me, whether I was married to my wife or not is irrelevant. For me, if I ek baar commitment kar li na, so I'm just saying that once you make that commitment, and once you're committed to a person, what difference does it make in my head? For other people, it's extremely sacred. In my head, it makes no difference whether I've taken a few circles of a fire and all that stuff. I don't know about these things. I know what I feel. I know that what I feel for a person. And I know that when I feel something for a person, I know that even though if I stop feeling that it wasn't, I won't let that fire thing stop me from walking out. You know, because I believe in the bond between two people. And I think that marriage is basically a symbolic thing to show society that we're now together. You know, but it's more important what the two people are on the same level playing field. You know, so I mean, this is just the way I feel. So, so casual love is great for young people who want to, whatever, go out there, try other things, try other guys, girls, whatever. It's good. I like it. So yeah, thank you. That's all I have to say about this.
Just a quick check on the rules of engagement again. Write down your questions, or at least frame it in your mind. Very short questions, because we'll otherwise run over on time. But before that, I think Padmaja, you have a few questions.
Yeah, that was really profound, Kunal. So, so what do you really think about it? Tell us that. That got a little heavy.
It got heavy, you think?
I think a little bit.
No, yeah.
But I still have to say it was a lot safer than the things that you were saying inside. And
really?
we will not tell you what he said inside about
What did I didn't say anything controversial. I think that marriage it's more important that two people know the commitment that they've made to each other. And I don't know about you know, the ceremony itself and how sacred that is, because what's sacred to me is the commitment I've made to another person and what the other person has made to me. And if that is violated, you know, whether I was married or not, I'd feel equally hurt. You know, if I wasn't married to my wife, if I wasn't married to my girlfriend, and if I had children out of wedlock and she stepped out of marriage, or she whatever, cheated on me, or I cheated on her, we'd feel equally bad. I don't think that the marriage would have had anything to do with the way that we feel. So that's...
No, but seriously, I mean, since both of you are in committed relationships, there are times, I'm sure this is a dilemma a lot of young people here face who are not necessarily married but in a relationship. Have you ever had moments, Soha, when you thought that maybe I've boxed myself in? What if I, you know, maybe step out and see if there's someone else who's better suited? Is that infidelity? Is that a bad thing?
I think that we have to make a distinction. For me, disloyalty is an action, not a thought. I think we have control over our actions, not our thoughts. I think it's very natural to feel scared and to say, you know, what if I've made the wrong decision, or I find that man attractive, or, you know, for Kunaal say I find that woman attractive. I think it would be unnatural not to feel those things, but I would make a distinction between thinking that and acting on it. I would not appreciate it if he acted.
I think this question should go to both of you. And you're in movies. You know, there was this generation of movies where there was a father and a mother, and the daughter goes and marries a poor boy, etc., etc. So there was always this push and pull. Now the parents have disappeared from the scene. Life should be easy. You select a girl, you get married because your parents are anyways pushing you out of the house. Why is it that love continues to be still so confusing, and now you have young people so confused in relationships, and that is getting mapped onto movies? Isn't it true?
Yeah, I think that that it's a result of many things. It's a result of I mean, my honest opinion is that it's a result of just generally desires, you know, and the want for constant change. And I think that's driven by industry, it's driven by media, it's driven by what's constantly fed to you, and it's driven by the desire to for the next thing, you know. And I think that's where the confusion comes in. Because we're all so connected now, you can connect with people you knew 10 years ago, you know, just on your phone. Some little flirtatious interaction you might have had is constantly in your pocket now. So I'm saying that it's so I'm just saying that it's always an option that's easily accessible, you know, and I think that accessibility to a lot of people so easily is what's making a difference.
So let's put it this way. Who is the villain in today's commitment in relationships?
I think we as people are complicated, and we like complications. We like to complicate our lives. I am all for tolerance and acceptance and grey. I don't believe life is black and white. I don't believe people are black and white. But I think that we really go an extra mile to complicate things further for us. And now, especially because you're talking about free will and the lack of, the breaking down of certain social conventions, and parents not being so, behind us, pushing us to have arranged marriages, etc. Left to our own, we're even more confused. I think free will brings a lot of confusion, and I think we enjoy that confusion. We get we're a little self-destructive by nature as well, human beings, I think. So all of that, I think, comes to the fore, and we want to, I don't know. Actually, I don't know.
Before we open it to the house, one final question. Is it good then to have that sort of a casual relationship? That advice, who made that advice to you? That
I can't tell.
Is it your mother?
Maybe.
Sounded like your mother.
I'm not saying anything.
Okay, but is it supposed to be? Is it supposed to make you realize that there's something perhaps that you might want and something that is good for you in a relationship? Being in multiple relationships perhaps makes you understand what you desire and what is good for you.
You mean multiple relationships at the same time, or multiple relationships serially, one after the other?
One after the other, before you actually settle down on the one.
Well, like many things, sometimes some people realize what they want through a process of elimination. So you realize, I don't want to be with A, B, C, and D, so perhaps I want to be with E, or B, or Z, or how many ever turns it takes, or in your case, A.
A, yeah. All I got in life was A. But I think that like for me, the first relationship I was in was the girl that I married. I've never been with any other woman in my life. So I mean, honestly, sometimes I do wonder what it would be like. I mean, I wouldn't lie to say that you don't think about, like, just wondering about these things from time to time. But I mean, if you're so happy and if you're so content in your relationship, then there's no reason to look outside.
All right, like I said, it got a little heavy, but we're here to have fun. So, questions, quickly, and make it really crisp. Identify yourself. The lady right here in the front.
Good morning. My question to you is, why isn't intercaste marriage accepted in society?
Soha, would you like to take that?
Why isn't intercaste marriage? I think that sometimes people, I mean, if I tell you the honest, genuine reason why some people have told me that, it works only to marry people from the same background as you. Because sometimes you have to engage in certain social practices and customs which may seem alien to you. When you have children, your children will have identity confusion because they won't know who they are. These are reasons that some people give you. I, of course, don't buy, I don't buy into that. I believe that you should marry whoever you fall in love with. And it doesn't matter, it's obviously irrespective of what caste or religion they are.
There's a hand there, I can't really see the face. The gentleman in the black jacket and blue shirt. Yeah.
Thank you. Good afternoon, ma'am. My question is that, whenever I'm with my friends, they tell me that you should be in a relationship. You've been single for a long time now. Now get a girlfriend for yourself.
There's relationship pressure. Why are you single? What's wrong with you?
Because they've been in a lot of relationships with other guys, girls, like
guys and girls.
Nice. So when they say me that, like, I start thinking that should I get a girlfriend now? Because and then when I come back home, that I think, is it right to get a girlfriend?
So what's your question?
My question is that what should I tell them? What should be my answer to them that when they tell me get a girlfriend for yourself now? Because I'm not ready to get a girlfriend right now.
Is it your friends or your family who are pressurizing you?
My friends.
Oh, your friends.
Family will never pressurize on me.
So he's not got to A also. He hasn't got to A also. Yes.
So you've never had a girlfriend?
No.
Do you yourself want to have a girlfriend? Is there a girl that you
Not really. Not right now.
You've never met a single girl that you felt attracted to or want to?
No, I've had crushes. But that did not turn out well. So right now I'm not in a state to get a girlfriend. Because I don't want a girl. I'm focused on my career right now.
But honestly, if that's how you feel, that's how you feel. I mean, and
you must find a girlfriend. It's so beautiful. He doesn't know what he's missing.
But the guy wants to concentrate on his career.
I think there are 24 hours in the day.
But see, I think that the girl, if you want it to happen or not, when the right girl comes along, you're going to fall for her,
She'll
right?
tell you when to be in a relationship. When you meet the right girl, she'll only get you in it.
Yeah,
Your counseling
but I guess
session later, so have a
you
video
should
couple
get a
of things.
girlfriend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You should get a girlfriend.
You feeling the pressure already?
No.
The other hand there. Oh, that lady there in the spec. Yeah, right there. Can you put up your hands?
Hi, my question is, now that we are so tech savvy and that we have so many options, I think the problem today is that we have so many more options and we meet so many new people. Do you think that's one of the reasons why commitment, the traditional notion of commitment is a passe or something which we find really difficult? Because every day you meet new people, so you think maybe that's better, maybe the other person will be better. So do you think because this Facebook, this Twitter, the Blackberries, do you think that's one of the reasons why commitment is a problem?
There's a yes and a no answer to that. There's so many options, but relationships aren't like gadgets. I used to sometimes worry that the person I was in a relationship with will have so many options. But it's not really very often that two people connect at the same time and want to be together at the same time. It's actually quite a rare and wonderful thing. In terms of a serious relationship, I know I've liked so many people who have not liked me at the same time, and other people have liked me and I've been trying to run away from them. So, it's quite a rare thing, I think, to have so many actual options that can translate into a reality. But yes, of course, on one level, I think you're right. There are many options and nobody wants to tie themselves down. As they say, 40 is the new 30. So perhaps when people were getting married at 30, now they're saying, okay, I can wait till 40. A lot of women are putting it off because, honestly, I am financially independent today. I don't need to marry a man for the money or the economic stability anymore. I might still want a man to look after me, but I don't need him to look after me. I can look after myself. That complicates matters even more, I think, because the traditional dating structure has been very like the guy pays for dinner and, the girl still wants the guy to pay for dinner. So everyone will be like, did he pay for dinner? And the guy doesn't know. He's like, shall I pay for dinner? Will that be offending her feminism? Or shall I go Dutch? Or what do I do? So dating has become really complicated as well. So I think there are many options, but I don't think there's so many options.
Kunaal, you hit 40 at 20 only.
I'm very, very old. I'm extremely old. I'm an old man. Yeah.
Okay, one final question. Okay, gentleman there.
Good morning, everyone. So I have a question. Can you answer me what's the meaning of commitment? Just within 2-3 words. Just commitment. I want to know the meaning of commitment within 2-3 words.
Commitment. Your name is Soha Ali?
Please, sorry.
No, I'll say one word, then you say one word.
You say one word each.
Yes, more experience.
Commitment is staying true to someone, whether it's an ideal or a person or whatever, in the good times and the bad times. I think it's sticking. Sticking is my word, sticking.
It's a promise, I guess. It's a promise. It's like
Promise.
Yeah.
I want promise. Promise.
Yeah, promise.
Cancel sticking. It's promise.
It's promise. It's like God promise. God promise. God promise.
Okay, I want to ask a question taking off from what you said. So, do people need to get married anymore? You said, essentially.
Absolutely not.
No?
But if you
Is
need to
marriage
get married, you need to
redundant?
get married. Like I have my best friend, whose name I will not take because she won't be my best friend anymore.
But you said this is going to be different. Tell us.
Yeah, well, no, she absolutely has to get married. She feels she's at a certain age now, and it's almost redundant who that man is. It's like she needs to get married now. And because she just feels I'm of a marriageable age. I want to have children now. I feel like I've entered a stage in my life where now the natural thing is for me to be married. And so for her, even if she meets someone, the objective is marriage. Even if we're having coffee, I'm studying you whether you're marriage material or not.
But does that also have to do with success? Today you can be in a live-in relationship because you have a career, you have a name.
And
What
because
about
my
a
mother
woman?
has allowed me to.
But what about a woman who does not have a career, a name, and she's completed her education, she's in a normal job? The next logical thing, societal pressure, call it, but the next logical thing is marriage then.
But she has a career. You said she has a career.
Maybe a normal 9-to-5 job. And
I think
what next then?
I think marriage has to be for the right reasons. And for me, that right reason is companionship. This is someone that you should enjoy spending time with. You should enjoy your silences with. You should have things that you like doing in common. You should share a certain kind of temperament, or you should balance each other. There should definitely be attraction. I think that's one of the most important things, because honestly, over time I've understood that you can get other things from other people, and it's allowed to play badminton with someone else, it's allowed to read a book with someone else, it's allowed to go scuba diving, but there are certain things it's not allowed to do with other people. So it's very important for two people to be attracted to each other, and that sometimes helps the longevity of a relationship as well.
But sorry to drag this on, but promise last question, God promised last question on this thing. But everything you mentioned, you can get outside marriage. You can have children outside marriage. You can have companionship, love, attraction, sticking together. Why marriage?
So I don't know. So I'm just saying that, see, we live in a very judgmental society. I think we have to face the facts of the country that we live in. We have a very strong caste system. Our social system is extremely strong, where we divide on the basis of wealth, on the basis of religion. It's not a happy place in that sense, because we are so judgmental of people, and there's so much pressure on women at every different level, that I think that any decision you make is hard enough. But I'm saying that's why I'm saying that the youth has to stop making demands. Has to ask these questions to the society that we live in, and has to say that if we're okay having multiple relationships, and if we're okay being promiscuous and being responsible at the same time, we need people to stop being judgmental. And we need society to stop being judgmental of women choosing, men, whatever, choosing the way they want to live, and that's where it's going to come in. So that's where intercaste marriage will come in, because society will stop being judgmental, and that's the major demand the youth has to make, is that stop judging me, stop putting pressure on me for marrying in the same caste, in the same religion. This is nonsense, okay? It's garbage in my opinion. So I just think that that is the main drive that the youth should have.
Okay. That's Soha and Kunal, before we let you go, a few quick questions. You have only 3 or 4 words to answer these questions. We really want to box you in, get a headline out of it or something. No, nothing like that. But let's start with you, Soha.
No, please no.
Just very quick. Just the first thing that comes in your mind.
I slept for 2 hours last night. I'm really scared of what's going to come out.
That's even better, because we want the honest answers now. Okay, what comes to your mind when I say royalty?
Outdated.
Heroine.
Tantrum.
Accurate.
Cheating.
No, bad.
Saif Ali Khan.
God. He's lovely.
Oh, nice. Kareena Kapur.
Also lovely.
Come on, you're being diplomatic now.
They're a great couple. I'm very happy they found each other. They suit each other very well.
Live-in relationships.
I've just entered one. I'll tell you how it goes in 3 months.
Kunaal, not this one.
Oh. A good person to be in a committed relationship with.
Okay.
For me, not anyone else.
Okay. Pass. Okay. Kunal, Bhag DK Bose.
DK Bose, DK Bhag.
Actor, producer, or director?
Director.
Why?
I just find it most creatively involving.
Commitment.
It's the first thing that comes to your mind.
No, it was Salman Khan actually. But
from your expression, it looks like commitment phas gaya sala.
Commitment, I would say, is my word, I would think.
Okay. Siddharth and Vidya.
Soha's answer.
Lovely.
Okay, I don't know if you've Googled yourself recently, Kunal, and this is really interesting, and I want all of you also to do this when you're out of this session.
Every 5 minutes.
If you Google Kunal Roy Kapur, the one word that pops up and I'm sure you'd be interested to know, is but, with a double T. Would you care to tell us what the story is? That's the keyword for you on Google. Because of Nautanki Fala, apparently you're doing the same.
Have you taken your trousers down?
Yeah, I've emulated John Abraham.
I mean, you've got
I have
the keyword
exposed.
but on Google for Kunaal Roy Kapur.
Yeah, the thing is that
You should save a screenshot.
my butt is more famous than my face. That's the problem. That is the main issue. That's the problem in my career. That producers only want my backside.
Now that's a headline. Thank you, Kunaal.
It's sounding horrible. Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's been fabulous. Girls and boys, thank you very much, Kunaal, and thank you so much. And I please request on stage Miss Suryasnata Mohanty. Can I please request you on stage to give a small token of appreciation to Soha and Kunaal? A huge round of applause.